to another episode of LANCESCURV Live. Let me adjust this headphone, but I don't need it because I don't have anybody here I'm talking to right now except those who are here in the chat. There's nobody on cue waiting for me to open up the lines, but I will do that in a little while. After a while, I feel good starting on time. No obstacles so far, but don't let me say this too soon because you never know, the lights can go out, right? So I can't let that get to me, though. We have to move forward with it, and I'm just so glad. And I'm telling you, I almost had a disaster. You know what that disaster almost was? I fixed everything up for the show, and I laid down for a second, and someone said, "Get up." I came back. It was 3 minutes before the show started. I'm like, oh, yes, we are here. Oyala Cadence, Oyala's Cadence. But Sister Oyala, you're here. Master Glam Mixed Genre Faves. Yo, on your time. And you probably said, this guy's starting on time. He got everything together early. Yes, I did. I have to say that I pretty much stayed up all night. And I stayed up a little extra bit of time so I can help Mrs. SCURV with the stuff this morning. And I came back and I did a few more little things and couldn't get back to sleep. Even Reese is here early. Lord have mercy. Lord of mercy. I just want to take a little time to say rest in peace to Tina Turner. Tina Turner passed away, and it was Reese that told me about that. It was already something that was already in my inbox a couple of times, but I didn't have a chance to check it. Let me just check and see how the sound sounds. D. Griffin, love and light. Yes, we miss you and love you, and I'm glad you're here. But yeah, Tina Turner. Wow. I got to kind of look over my Tina Turner thoughts. Maybe a little short thing on her. I don't know why with her, I know why I had mixed feelings with her, because she wasn't really, I don't think it was official, but I think after Ike Turner, she was through with black men. And I was like, man, that's kind of unfortunate. But I understand why. You know, these days, I don't really go after a person for where they are. If they come to me and say all black men are bad, then we got a problem. But, you know, just like when we were speaking with our friend the other day and he started speaking about Jesus and all of this stuff, and it's a good guy anyway. You know, we look past certain things now. For me to sit here and say, oh, yes, it's not this way and it's that way and you need to change. And I'm not going to do that. You're a good guy. I love you. You know, you're a nicer guy than a lot of other guys I know who are supposed to be good with me, but end up being turncoats. You know what I mean? So I've learned to, like, okay, in general, not that I'm going to sit here and bend or whatever, but I'm not going to sit here and be rigid. And when a person has a good spirit, okay, brother, you got a good spirit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say anything about the other things because maybe in time, in your private personal development, you'll come around with certain things that maybe it's not for me to say. You know what I mean? We'll take it as that. But that's a person that I can really, really trust. I can tell you that much. This guy has a heart of gold, consistent. And, you know, I keep my camera with me all the time, and I'm going to do a lot more of that. You know, when things pop up, it could be 3 or 4 minutes and say, hey, let me just record this moment and just share it. Doesn't mean it has to be a big blockbuster, you know, video where it's like, oh my God, but all the special Steven Spielberg effects. No, it doesn't have to be that way. But yeah, I'm going to kind of look over her life and see how I feel, but I can't erase, you know, the abuse that she's been in. And I think isn't that something that we're having a show like this, and she's been known to go through the severe abuse. And on the flip side, I heard, you know, before he passed, that Ike Turner wasn't that bad of a guy. I don't know. This is what I heard. I was hearing all kinds of things, but I really wasn't into all of that like that. You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, when the movie came out, what's love got to do with it in the song and all that stuff. And, you know, it makes you realize how fast time goes by. And that was back in the 80s. And now we're in 2023. And we always tend to kind of, we don't forget, but it's off the radar. Oh, that's Tina Turner. She's there. She'll always be alive. It's just like Jim Brown. Football great Jim Brown. And I was going to go and do something on it, but I really wasn't into football, but I know he was heavy into activism. And I was going to do a little something, and I still just might. But, you know, some of these things you got to let go because it's so much happening out in the world. you know, and I will have more time when we are in the next location to be able to, you know, catch every little thing. Cause that's that's another thing I want to really do also. Not sit here and be the news all day, but, you know, be able to catch these things and have the time to do so and do so in a more relaxed manner with everything in place. And that's a stretch where I can do something like that. It's like I'm drawing a piece of artwork or something and find something else. Like, okay, let me go down there and hit the button for 10 minutes, talk about this, boom, hit this other button and it's out. I don't have it set up like that. And when I do, it's going to be phenomenal. Let me look back into the chat room and see who else might have come in. No, nobody else. We're still with the, hey, we'll work. Hey, listen, I'm cool with who's here. You know, we have 15 people that I see, and we have those of our family who are in the chat room. So I'm going to read off a little something. Let me find it here. Let me find it. Okay, I guess one more thing I have to do, but I'm going to read this off. And I made the title in a creative way, and I'm going to cover other parts of that. But in making this title, I never really go over and over and rack my head. It usually comes to me. But what happened was I started off with a whole different title. And don't ask me what that was because I totally forgot what that was. But it morphed into this. And I like to keep the title short, but with this type of thing, I had to have something with a little twist to it. Then I had to find a photo, and I had to find the right photo. And, you know, listen, I love all my sisters, right? And the photos that they have available now on Google to kind of snatch, which you shouldn't be snatching photos, but they're there like that, and you kind of doctor them up. I searched like black couples and, you know, I searched abusive type things and got images that were too intense, like a man punching a woman. First of all, I could lose my whole YouTube channel for showing something like that, but it wasn't something super graphic, but you knew what was going on. And I wouldn't want to display that anyway, because I wanted to show a photo that kind of showed the happiness of it all in the beginning, you know. And this is what I said: predatory gentlemen. Like, how could you be a gentleman and be predatory? Well, these guys are. And I said predatory gentlemen and the toxic tactics used to destroy your life. I had titles that had all this other stuff in it, and it wasn't too long. And it was so hard to even chisel it down to just that, because I wanted to encompass everything. And in certain titles, when you title a podcast or a YouTube video, it's really hard to title it. And what a lot of guys do, they'll have the longer title like I have here, and they'll put just one word or two words to catch your eye in the thumbnail. So it's evolving, that type of stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read off this here, and then we're going to get into it. First of all, I got too many screens open. Let me close a few of these screens. Please bear with me. Okay. One thing I don't do is when I have the program open, I don't keep the YouTube channel open, because sometimes you'll hear it double and I might not hear it. We're in trouble then. So, okay, I got enough screens pulled up here. And I know it's going to be a good one tonight because I am very relaxed. And actually, I'm inspired, not inspired by somebody's pain, but stimulated from our short conference call this morning. I won't mention any names. A lot of private things were shared, and it's not going up. It's destroyed. And I'm not going to mention any names if I use bits of that as an example, unless anyone wants me to. But I'm always keen on that. I never like to really expose anything that is not meant to be exposed unless someone wants me to do so. Okay. So let's go to this page that I have on the site, and let me read this out. Let me check back. I'm bouncing around. Yeah, Master Glam, interracial thing. Huh? I see that. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about all of that. Okay. Let me read this out. Okay. Recognizing the danger signs of an abusive man is important for identifying potentially harmful relationships. While it is essential to remember that not all men exhibit abusive behavior, Here are some common warning signs that may indicate an abusive individual. Number 1, excessive jealousy and possessiveness. An abusive man may constantly question your actions, become overly suspicious, or display unreasonable jealousy regarding your interactions with others. Number 2, controlling behavior. Abusive individuals often try to control various aspects of your life, such as who you spend time with, how you dress, or your financial decisions. They may isolate you from friends and family or insist on having complete control over your activities. Explosive temper and frequent anger. If a man displays frequent anger, loses control easily, or has a tendency to become violent during arguments, it can be an indication of an abusive nature. This may involve shouting, name calling, or physical aggression. Number 4, verbal and emotional abuse. Emotional manipulation, constant criticism, belittling, and humiliation are common tactics used by abusive individuals. They may undermine your self-esteem, make you feel guilty or responsible for their behavior, or use threats and intimidation to gain control. Physical violence. Any form of physical violence, including hitting, slapping, pushing, or other acts that cause harm or fear, is a clear indication of an abusive relationship. Number 6, possessive behavior. An abusive man may display possessive tendencies, constantly monitoring your whereabouts, excessively checking your phone or social media accounts, or demanding constant updates on your activities. Number 7, blaming others for his actions. Abusive individuals often refuse to take responsibility for their behavior and instead blame others, including their partner, for their actions or emotions. Number 8, rapid escalation of the relationship. Abusive individuals may push for quick commitments or display intense affection early in the relationship, attempting to establish control and manipulate their partner. Number 9, isolation from support systems. Abusers often try to isolate their partners from friends, family, and other support systems to gain more control and make it difficult for the victim to seek help. Number 10, threats and intimidation. Abusive men may use threats of harm to themselves, their partner, or loved ones as a means of control. These threats can be physical, emotional, or financial in nature. It's important to remember that no one deserves to be abused, and if you suspect you are in an abusive relationship, it's crucial to seek help and support from trusted friends, family, or professionals such as counselors, therapists, or helplines specializing in domestic violence. Listen, folks, that's the whole show right there. What can I say more than that? But we're going to go down and use some examples and just freestyle a little bit. But I like to get something established where we're on the same page. So that if somebody says, well, no, that's not this and this is not that. I'm not the authority to anything, never claimed to be, but I have a lot of experiences and I've observed a lot in people. And, you know, that was pretty much, I pretty much covered it, pretty much covered it. Riri, I see you there. I'm going to zone out a little bit. And I might follow this particular list and just start there and not just read it over again. But they say excessive jealousy and possessiveness, right? And yeah, that's true. But I think that we should move down to number 8, right? I think that should be first. I think they should have put this in a certain order, although once you get past number 8, anyone can be the one that rears its ugly head as far as the tactics that they use to destroy your life. Because this is about abusive men, but I'm going to talk about these men who basically are not just abusive, but they hate you. It's like they resent you. They resent your womanhood. But I want to read this one again. I'm not going to read them all again. I just want to read this as number 1 because this is how it starts. Like I said, number 8, rapid escalation of the relationship. Abusive individuals may push for quick commitments or display intense affection early in their relationship, attempting to establish control and manipulate their partner. Now, never in this show am I going to blame women. I'm not going to do this. But there are some women, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to do the Umar Johnson and say it 3 times. Like, hit the cash app, hit the cash app, hit the cash app. I'm going to say it. There are some women, there are some women that when they meet a man who attempts rapid escalation of the relationship, they, and I'm not blaming them for this, but they soak it in fast because it feels so good. It feels so good. Like the song back in 78. But that song feels so good. Half of you weren't even born back then. But yeah, that was a song, old jazz song back in the day. Feels so good. Because it feels so good to be loved so bad. I'm not making fun of it, but many of our sisters, they feel that they're going to get the total package eventually. This man is going to drive up in a drop top luxury car with a 6-pack and a shirt open and lots of jewelry and money, and he's driving slow, looking at you like you're the 10th wonder of the world. Not all. I know my sisters here don't think that. But I'm saying there are some that secretly feel that way, even when they don't profess it, even when they'll tell you, I'm not waiting for that. That doesn't exist. There's no perfect man. But their eyes are open, waiting for what they think may be the perfect man for them. And it's these abusive, predatory men who could sense this in you. Because the abusive, predatory man, and let's slip it over just from abusive, but predatory right now. Because the predatory men are abusive in certain ways, overlapping ways, as the one who will hit you. But sometimes the predatory man may not do that. Sometimes the predatory gentleman, there's no excuse for hitting. But I'll say this, and I'll let women be the judge, that what this predatory man, I'll just keep saying gentleman, just to, it kind of mixes things up. Like, what does he mean by a gentleman? But this predatory gentleman, oftentimes what he does is cuts so deep that in some cases, you may have some women that may say, I just wish that maybe he was the kind of guy that smacked me one time and I got rid of him. But nobody wants physical violence, if you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is that the predatory gentleman is a leech. He's a parasite. He is a spiritual vampire. And the abusive man, they have parallels. Now, I'm not somebody who is a scholar in mental health and these types of things. I'm just going on what I've seen and witnessed and experienced from men around me. And I don't mean men that I hang out with, because I don't hang out with dudes like that. I mean, I had my friends that I grew up with, but back in the day, I never really hung out with any other people. But I observed and have been close enough in situations to be able to see this happening. Brianna, Nyack, welcome in. I just happened to go. It's me, Lisa Lee. I see you. Nathaniel Leroy Turner. Good to see you. I just clicked onto the chat room back again. Listen, my throat's dry. Even though I've been drinking a lot of juice today, just bear with me while I drink down some of this water. Just give me a second, okay? Hold tight. Ooh, that was so good. So, in both situations, you have that abusive man that you don't know is an abusive man. And you have that predatory gentleman that you don't know is a predatory gentleman. And that abusive man can He's a little more crude than the predatory gentleman. You see what I mean? The predatory gentleman is a slick assassin of the heart. He has patience. The abusive man, even though the predatory gentleman wants to get into you, your resources, your heart, your soul, to rip it apart, the abusive man is more like a little puppy. The predatory gentleman is more like a cat, cat-like. Because I find the predatory gentleman may have more resources of his own. But the abusive man, lots of times, he doesn't have his life together. Not that the predatory gentleman does. But the predatory gentleman can be working on 3 females at the same time. The abusive man, usually, to me, from what I see, and this is freestyling, focuses on that one. I got to get through to her. I don't have a time to be a player and see which one, steps forward and opens up first. So that abusive man, he gets in, he works on you, and he plays with your heart before he gets in. So let's kind of leave the abusive man alone, because we've talked enough about them, and we need to talk more, because there are a lot of young ladies and older women out here who may be a little naive to the tactics in this day and age in 2023, and you cannot blame them. Because, like I've said before, we, men and women, we judge the world by the state of our own mind. And that being said, when there are things that you will not do to a person as a morally upright person, there's things that don't even cross your mind to do, don't assume that next person who is smiling and treating you so sweet, don't think they don't have that in their heart. Now, let me get into what I wanted to get into with the predatory gentleman, because we will talk about abusive men again, and I've done it lots of times, but I like to find different angles. I got a crap load of archives of videos, right, and articles and stuff, and I like to go in, like, you can take one topic, this way I feel, you can take one topic and you can go in 100 times without saying repetitiously the same exact things. You may start out, you may segue into it the same way, but like a bus route coming from downtown, while many of the bus routes overlap because there's only but a few streets around the bus depot, after a while they branch off into their own thing. And so I like to go in on each topic with surgical precision. Okay. So yeah, the love bombing. Oh yeah, the love bombing. Yeah, I forgot about that word. I need to look that up. and read that off officially. That's very important. Thanks. Thanks for putting that in there. Love bomb meaning. Let me see if this is something that's short with bulleted points. Because I'm not going to sit here and read 7 signs to look for. Love bombing, the action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. They love bomb a whole lot in churches when you first come in there. And the people who are there lots of times, they're trained and they're told ahead of time, not like, hey, love bomb them, but they know what they have to do. Okay, so I'm going to read maybe 2 paragraphs of this other article, and I'll include the link inside. And a lot of times, if I forget to put the link on YouTube or in the comments section, it will be on LANCESCURV.com on that particular post. Everything is on LANCESCURV.com. So that's what it is. If you find a typo, or there is, and this is off topic, from about 2020 to some point last year, it was after one of the Irritated Genie shows when Vimeo, that's a paid account that's like YouTube, but it has no ads on it. It's white labeled, right? There's nothing else on it. I use that to embed my videos on my site. So it had nothing to do with YouTube, thinking that if YouTube shut me down, I already had my content up there. Well, after that whole thing with the Irritated Genie and how these folks tried to take my website down, a few hours later, Vimeo contacted me and said, we don't want your business no more, basically. Take it somewhere else. Maybe you could find, they gave me a slick email. So I know it was the Kanye West adversaries that were all behind that. So there's a period from maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, where on the site, you'll see in the video area that this video is no longer available. No, it is. It's on YouTube. And there may be one or two that may not be, that they just kind of knock down. And if it's just something with a banner, then I can find it on SoundCloud, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and I'll replace it with that. So in your digging deep on the site, if you find anything missing, just let me know. But I know there's a 2.5 year period that I have to go back every day, right? 365 days for like about 2.5 years, and going to click. I committed to like 50 a day, and I quickly fell off with all the stuff that I have going on. So hopefully I'll start that soon. Definitely when I get up to the other location. But let me just read this quick about love bombing, just for the sake of the show. What is love bombing? Love bombing is a form of psychological and emotional abuse that involves a person going above and beyond for you in an effort to manipulate you into a relationship with them. It looks different for every person, but it usually involves some form of excessive flattery or praise, over communication of their feelings for you, showering you with unneeded and unwanted gifts, early and intense talks about your future together. Love bombing can happen intentionally or unintentionally. Although it's most often recognized by romantic partners, your family members and friends can love bomb you too. It's usually driven by a person's insecurities, inability to trust, and dependence on other people. Although anyone can do it, love bombing is most often associated with people who have an anxious or insecure attachment style or narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. People can also pick up on this behavior by learning it from their parents, like passive aggression, or from past abusive relationships. It can also be a side effect of unresolved childhood trauma, though this isn't always the case. If you turn down advances from a person who's love bombing you, or they feel you're not responding to their needs, they might threaten or berate you. They want that constant reassurance that you're loved, or that they're loved and worthy, and this stems from their underlying insecurities. And while they spend the early days overextending themselves to win your favor, when the honeymoon phase ends and real life kicks in, a person who love bombs may resort to more manipulative tactics like gaslighting or domestic abuse in order to keep their partners around. Love bombing is a situation that can be hard to get out of because you may not know how genuine someone is until it's too late, right? And I'll read these three phases. I'm getting into this too. I'm like, wait a second. I'm supposed to be talking about predatory gentlemen, but this is good. Love bombing tends to occur in three phases. The idolization phase. During this phase, your partner bombards you with an excessive love and affection to draw you in and convince you to let your guard down. At first, it may seem too good to be true or easy to be swept off of your feet. The devaluation phase. Once you let your guard down and get comfortable in the relationship, red flags start to appear. Your partner may try to exert control over you in a variety of ways. They may become more demanding of your time and get upset when you make plans without them. They may also try to limit access to your friends and family and gaslight you into thinking nothing is wrong with their behavior. In most severe cases, they may use fear and intimidation to get you to behave differently than you normally would and even resort to physical violence. The discard phase, when you confront them about their harmful behavior or try to reset healthy boundaries. Your partner may avoid accountability by refusing to cooperate and compromise or by abandoning the relationship. This can leave you feeling confused, disoriented, or like you somehow failed to fix things. Yes, I'm going to include this in all the links and stuff like that. But let me check on the chat room. I was off of that. Chrissy. Yes, welcome, Chrissy. Let me see who else is. Kersey. Oh, we got the K crew here. Wow. Welcome in. Keith Galloway, you're on Facebook right now. So nobody really is seeing you because there's not much activity over there. Yeah, thank you for saying it, Master Glam, because I wasn't going to say it. Jay, whatever. So if you want to come on over to youtube.com/LANCESCURV, that way you can relate with everybody who's in the chat room here. So because I broadcast across a few different platforms. Julia NASA. Yes. Wow. You see what she says here? And it's so true. It's really hard to trust people nowadays. Most of the time, it's a hidden motive. And you know what? There's a word in there that you said, time. Take your time. And anybody who is legit they're going to know that there are people out there that are not legit, that do have motives. So what do I say? Especially when you're a man, you have to be transparent. You cannot be rushing. And it's almost like you have to pretty much, and this is off topic, I don't care. We're going to talk. We're going to get down tonight. It's like you're going for a federal job. It's like you're going for a state job. You can't take anybody's word for it anymore. And what you have to understand, and listen, we have a lot of vicious young ladies out here too now. So this goes for both. I'm not somebody throwing off on just women or knocking just men. This is the world we live in. And so we have to really show, if we're really interested in the person, go all out. Let's just stop the mystery. As far as like, well, in time, whatever. Yeah, there's certain things you're not going to share up front. Things do take time. But when you do get serious, you better know who you're dealing with. If you're moving toward marriage or even just living together, if you're moving towards sharing your bodies, that's serious enough, because you can get something that you can't get rid of. And not only that, oh yes, Chrissy, it's here. And anybody who wants to come on in a little while, I'm going to put the link out if you want to join in and maybe share a story or share an experience or whatever. This is the kind of thing I love doing, this type of stuff. Yes, this is part of the revolution, the change and the healing that we need. We need to talk about these things, because if we're hurt behind somebody who has abused us, we cannot think about the greater whole and the greater good. So we need to get ourselves together emotionally, mentally, physically, and we're going to talk about all these different things. And this is what I like to do. So for all the Hotep Negroes out there who think that I should be talking about white supremacy, it's becoming a joke now, right? They're mad because they don't have the range to talk about these things. So they want to keep me in one little lane and choke me out because they can't do it. That's just my gift. That's why I've been exposed to so much, and I don't know everything. I need everybody here to share in with me when they can, whichever way, whether it's a comment or coming in on the show or dropping a comment here in the show. Yo, exactly, Oyala. I'm for that. I am for that. Transparency. She said it. Daggone right. If a person can't deal with that, then they need to hit the road. Because they got to understand the world that we're living in today. It's not like it was years ago. And even, like years ago. I'm not 20 years ago, you should still be doing this. 30 years ago, you should still be doing this. But I'm saying way back in the day, things are a little more easy to check up on. But she says background checks, interrogation, and more is needed before you get with anyone. Daggone right. Let me ask you, and I'm a man, so I'm not going to just ask men. I'm not into men like that. I'm into women. So I'm protective over my sisters. I look out for a brother, but it's all about the women for me, because too many are hurt. And yes, men are hurt, and we will deal with those topics. But the bottom line is, isn't your love worth it? And I'm not just talking about a physical stimulation. Yes, that is worth it too, because you can catch something from somebody who's not sincere. How many times have we looked on YouTube or saw these programs where this man had 27 lovers across the country? I'm just making that up. Might be more. Some of them older women, some of them lonely, some of them, I'm a truck driver, so I'm on the road a whole lot, and he might not even be a truck driver. You know what I mean? He's living with this woman and dating this one or that one, and has all these women collected up. Yes. How are you spending your time? Prove this to me. Check it. Look, brothers, if you find a woman and you know that she is the one, which there's no way of knowing, like bing, a bell goes off in your head, but gradually you already know, like this is gonna be it. It's like a boxer on the ropes, right? And the other fighter is punching him with unanswered blows. Boom, boom, boom. And his eyes are rolled up in his head. Pretty much you know that fight is going to fall down. So it's the same thing with a relationship. If you find a woman and she is worth that, because you feel and you know that you're bringing something to the table as far as dedication and commitment, and she is worth that, you need to start the ball rolling. Listen, sweetheart, this is my license. I'm going to get some nasty comments. Oh, you simping, man. You simping for the... No, man. If you get a good woman, you don't want to lose her. And she's worth it, right? This is no game. This is why we have too many dudes who get up in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, damn near 70s as old players. And now you're looking for somebody to come take care of your broke down ass. Be real from the beginning. Set the foundation. Remove all doubt from her mind. Remove all doubt. You see what I mean? You know, look what Master Clam said. I got to put this up on the claim they build homes. All they do is pour sand and clean up after the builders. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it is. We have too many frauds here. Be real with who you are. You know? And yes, you can do that. You can look up a person's public arrest record. Yeah. And you can pay a few extra bucks and go in depth. Or if you know somebody in the court system, law enforcement, which they kind of tighten it up. You know, you have to have a reason to look up somebody, like if you're a cop or something like that. But it still can be done. But give it all up. Run that license. Go down to the family court. Make sure you're not paying child support for 18 other babies. Which, if you're supposed to be doing that, you're supposed to be doing that. That's not a problem. A lot of guys will lie. When it comes time to step up to do something financial, like purchase a car together or maybe purchase a home. Now, this is, you know, you're either married or I wouldn't suggest doing any of these things if you're not married. Marriage gives you the legal protection, right? It gives you the legal protection. But a lot of men these days are afraid to get married. That's a whole other thing because of the gold diggers out there that will use them. That's a whole, this stuff is all interconnected and I can go all over the place with it. But the bottom line is, tear your butt cheeks out, brothers, and show every. Now, I'm not saying do that. I don't know what kind of practice you into when you're doing that. But all I'm saying is that, you know, share, show, remove any potential doubt, because here it is. I'll give a story and then we'll move on. There was somebody that I knew that worked on the job that I worked on. We were cool. I was more cool with her girlfriend. We were friends. And so I got a lot of the secondhand information, which this initial woman didn't mind me getting because she was cool with this girl, with this woman, and I was cool with her. And she would sometimes say things to me in front of our mutual friend. But one day, they got married. Okay, that was first base for them. And they were going to buy this home. And they were at the bank and trying to get a loan. They had a down payment, sizable down payment. They both had good jobs to a point. But when it came out, when they ran his credit, ran what he owed, that machine didn't stop spitting out paper. This joker, he owed so much money, his credit was so wrecked. And you got brothers out there, yo, man, you messing it up for us, man. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about the love. No, she's not a fool. She's not to be used. What are you talking about? If you love your woman, you'll love her before you meet her, fool. You will love her before you meet her and know her. What do I mean by that? Excuse my French, but keep your shit straight. One day you're going to meet this one and you want to have your stuff straight. Why do you let your credit go like that when that's part of it in this system? Now, if it's a matter of you going out in the back and cutting down some trees and building a structure, that's a different story. But the reality is, you know, that has to be intact. That's one of the things that makes a man a man. It doesn't mean if you have a knock on your credit that you're not a man, but what are you doing sitting around, going to the club, hanging out with Rusty and Kirby when you should be saving your money, working, paying off your debts, doing what you have to do, because even that woman may not be in your life right there. But you know what? I love this woman that I'm about to meet one day, and I want to have myself straight. Right? You don't wait to meet the woman of your dreams and say, well, listen, sweetheart, I got to go over there and wipe my behind because when I took a dump when I was inside, I didn't think I was going to meet you. You should be clean anyway. You should be clean anyway. You should be looking to elevate yourself anyway. So when you do meet that one, you have something to offer. What is it called? Stability. Women need to be secured. It doesn't mean they can't secure themselves. But if you are a man, you have to bring a measure of security, and you should be prepared to bring all the security. It makes you look better. You could be as ugly as anything, But when you got your stuff straight, you're the most handsome man in the world. Back in the early 20s, when that young lady might have been maybe a little party, just on a carnal level. He don't look too good. His face, yeah. Let them get up in age a little bit and see that you as a man have been holding it down. Like I said, kudos to the women who are holding it down for themselves, as long as they're not those type of modern women who have the attitude like that. I don't need no man. No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those who do for themselves fine, beautiful, but it shouldn't have to be that way. I'm not saying that you should do nothing, but no, in this modern world, the way things are getting more and more expensive, getting even worse more and more, trust me, that man better bring something to the table. Look, ain't that much good dick in the world for you to be sitting there. You the one going to work and he's sitting down. I don't care if he got to go to McDonald's. His hands got to move. I don't care if he got to work here or there and not bring much, but you need to be, see, that's the only way. Hate to sound like some pastor or using some, biblical words and church-like words, but when your hands are moving, you'll be blessed because this universe will see that you're making an effort. If you sit down and do nothing, you're not going to look good in her eyes because you're not even trying to, and you shouldn't even have to be trying. You should already have momentum. Now, here's the thing. If y'all been together for years and she knows you're a hardworking brother, brings all the bacon home and slaps it on the table and says, here, this is what it is. Here, of course, it's going to be in the checking account. You all have eyes on that. And it's about the home. It's about her. It's about your security. And it's about the workings of the home and that house and the satisfaction of the both of you. And something happens to you as far as an accident is concerned, a mishap, the loss of a job. She'll hesitate not to hold you down. She will not hesitate to hold you down and still look at you with respect because she knows what kind of man you are. That's the difference. So when you compare yourself to a man, if you're a man bum, that's what I call them. A lot of my old blogs and videos used to call them man bums. If you're a man bum who's not established or try to establish yourself on your own, and you see the next man who may have an injury and he's home for 6 months or whatever, maybe even a year, and you see his wife going to work and coming with a smile on her face because you know what? I don't know what the injury might be, but he's doing what he got to do in the home. He's doing every other thing now to make it easier for her. So let's get it straight. You need to have a good record with everything. Now, you have some kind of mishap with crime or that's an individual thing. That's for her to decide, right? But the bottom line is that keep your credit straight, keep everything straight, and present yourself as an asset to that woman as opposed to a dumb ass, right? Ain't this? Oh, I'm missing it. Brother Shiz TV, welcome. Let me see. K-Frame Classic. I've been missing folks. I'm running off at the mouth and going off on my own little rant. That's crazy. How would you let your 9-month pregnant wife, girlfriend work? Oh, that right there, that's the title right there. That exact thing right there. We're going to talk about that because that encompasses so many other people. But let me take a sip and we'll get back on topic, y'all. Because I was running a mile a minute, man. Woo, God. My lips are like tire treads burning down. Hold on. Oh, God. Water. When you're hydrated, like, I don't want no water. When you're thirsty, oh, give me that water, please. Just give me one. Yes, Master Glab. But the predatory gentlemen, these predatory gentlemen, and the certain types I want to talk about, because many men can be predatory. They can be predatory for certain things like your resources. And you hear some of these guys. And me, once being a bus driver for many years, I used to hear all the conversations. I never was a loss to have shows when I started having shows and I was driving the bus. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Get to the red light and write it down. We're going to talk about this tonight. So you'd hear some guys, yeah, man, check this out. Hey, bro. Hey, what's up, man? I ain't see you in a while, man. You hanging out with that lady. She putting it on you, right? Nah. You know me and her broke up, right? All right, word, man. She had it going on. What's up with that? Nah, man, she was sweating me too much, man. She wanted to get married and shit, man. I wasn't get though, man. I just want to get that pussy and move on. What? You got another one now? Yeah, man, she got it going on. You know, this job ain't paying me that much, man, you know, and I like to party. But this girl here, she really got it going on. See, she don't look like much at first. When you really look at her, man, she look good, man. She got a banging body, you know. She got a good job. She got a nice place on the good side of town. And we've been dealing. We've been talking. Yo, so you smash it yet? Nah, I ain't smashed it yet, man. But I'm going to get that in like about 2 weeks. Don't worry about that. But I got her mind already, man. She amped up. I got her thinking that, you know, we're going to walk down the aisle and everything. I ain't going down no goddamn aisle with this woman, man. She got the money. She got the paper stacked up. But I can tell you one thing. I'm going to try to hold off from marriage, man, because she one of them old-fashioned chicks. Because, you know, her parents, you know, they married. They still married. Now they want to meet me and shit. But I'm going to have to go through it, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm going to ride with her for about 2 years, man. I'm going to get a car out of her ass. And then when I drop the dick on her, I'm going to leave it at the altar. You know what I'm saying? See, these are conversations I used to hear this all day. Different kind of conversations. Tyler Perry, if you need somebody to come and give you some storyline. No, I'm not really down with the Tyler Perry thing. I'm just saying on a monetary level, like I'll give you a story, you pay me. But this the kind of stuff that I would hear. And these guys are predatory. Now, I want to talk about a type of predatory gentleman, right? And I say gentleman because you never know that they're predatory. You think they're just so perfect. Look at the smile on a woman's face. That's the reason why I picked this picture, right? And I love all of my sisters, but please do not think that I chose this picture because this is a high yellow chick. I love my high yellow sisters too, but I really love my chocolate sisters, right? And I try to represent, but that photo really captured the joy on a woman's face. And this man is kissing her up, got his finger up under her chin. She just feeling so special. Now, maybe the guy's a nice guy. They posed for the picture. Maybe they're together. Maybe they're just models. But this, to me, the waves in the hair, you know what I mean? He has his fade right, got his little earring in, little chain on. He got a nice watch. You couldn't see that because the banner covered that up. But she's just so overjoyed that she met the one. Now, like I said, I took that from this picture. Maybe they're just models, but this illustrated perfectly what I wanted to display. The kind of predatory gentleman that I speak of now is a type of man, because there's a whole lot of predatory gentlemen, different types. This kind of man despises you. This kind of man despises womanhood. He doesn't like women. This kind of man, when he gets turned on, he also gets angry. Because when he gets turned on, and I do mean sexually and romantically, you have power over him. And now he resents you. But he's a predatory gentleman because he's going to pay you back for what you did to him. And you're like, what did I do to this guy? I met him and we went out on a few dates and, you know, we got to the point where we can come over each other's apartments and stuff, and things have been decent. He's been a gentleman, and he stayed late sometime, and he left, and maybe we crashed on the couch on a Netflix night and woke up, and I let him shower, but nothing happened. What do you mean? He despises me. You'll never know it until he gets a little further with you. And I mentioned it on the conference call last night, but I want to say, I want to... Master Glass, like I rebuke you, Satan. They stalk you and you leave. Exactly, right? But this is the thing. How can I explain this? Because I remember, like I said, when I worked in the jail, I talked to a lot of guys who murdered women, raped women. I'm talking about let me correct that. Not like, oh, I can't wait to go to work so I can sit down and talk to a man who hates women and wants to kill them. Knowing how I am, you'll know who I am. I want to get into the mind of those, not to understand them, to agree, but try to put it together where I can kind of see what their sick world is all about. Because that's what it is. It's not logical. It's not like I'm sitting there, well, let's try to piece this together because I know you're such a great guy that you had a reason to do this. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that make me try to understand how sick you are and how the sick mind works. That's really how it is, because there are a lot of men, and I am going to tell that story that I told last night, and I've told it before. There was a man whatever age I was, I think he was around 35. And this was, I must have been like about 40, a little older than him. But he looked old. I mean, old, 50 is not old because I was 50 10 years ago. But he looked old for his age. And he looked like an old 50, like he wrecked his life up. Well, anyway, we have all kind of guys locked in certain custody levels. And, you know, for sport and play, like, oh, we got a new guy in the unit today. Oh, we got 3 new guys in the unit today. Let's see what they're in here for. That's what you do. And you need to do that also to kind of understand their temperament of what they're capable of doing, right? So everybody got to know me. Like, I never went there trying to be everybody's friend and bend the rules or whatever, but you did what you did. But they don't see, what most people don't understand is that a lot of these guys, when they did what they did, they don't walk around all the time in that state of mind to do that again at that moment. You just know that that's part of their range of what the possibility is. And see, here it is that there are people out in the street right now who never did certain things, but their range is further. They just didn't know that it's that way for the potential to kill or rape. They just never did it yet. Or some have done it and you never know, and they never got caught. That's the thing. So you could be flirting with a guy who works at the supermarket or the dental assistant or somebody in your class. If you go to school, you don't know what they've done. You don't know what they're capable of doing under the right circumstances. Because even some of these people, I can't believe I did that. It was in you. There's no way of knowing sometime, but you need to keep yourself in check, meditate, heal up, keep yourself together. Now, righteously, I've seen guys who have killed people, and I agreed with it. Because if you walk in your home and somebody broke in your house and your wife is downstairs cooking and playing music and your little baby is in the crib, or the little girl's sleeping 7 years old, and this man is having sex with you, kill him, kill him, kill him. I bring you extra food. I'll slip in some candy bars. You did the right thing. Kill that dude. Kill him. Ain't no living and living off of taxpayers' money. Kill him. What's a 40-year-old man having sex with a 7-year-old girl? You broke into the house. So times to kill? Yes, I agree with that. We wouldn't have as many people locked up and you paying for them. That's what you do. Hope Rice, the only Rice I F's with. How are you doing, my lovely queen? I'm glad you're here. Yes, that's what it's all about. Swift justice. But again now, these men that I'm talking about, not just the predatory gentlemen, but the slice of them who resent you. I've talked to a lot of them. And like I said, let me get back to the story. I'm all over the place. This guy, I found out, had sex with a woman on the regular. It wasn't rape per se. It wasn't that. This guy's about 35 years old. The young lady was about 17 years old. Okay. I got an issue with that kind of sort of, you know what I mean? She's underage. And even still, if she was 20 and you 35, like, I know things happen, but what are you getting out of that? What, you got a future together? You know, come on. So this woman is coming over to his house every day. You know, she's in that phase where, you know, her hormones and libido, full blast. Don't know where he was with it, but he was damn sure making sure to enjoy it. And he told me this. He said, listen, man, this young lady was coming over my house every single day, man. She had a banging body and a half. She lived in my complex a few doors down and on the other side. She would always come over after school and before I went to work because I was always working a night job, but not the late overnight until the sun comes up type thing, but something in the evening where you get off maybe like about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning sometime. And sometimes he'd work extra hours where he did come home and when the sun was out, right? So the thing is, they were doing their thing from what he told me. And he said that they experimented with a lot of sexual practices. And there's one sexual practice, I forgot the name of what it was, but it's like the choking thing, right? Not choking like I want to kill you, but choking you to the point where you get lightheaded only at the point of orgasm. I forgot what the name was. It sounds crazy, but I haven't done that. You know what I mean? I don't do that to people in my lifetime, but I've found that many of us have done it, meaning that when you have this is an adult show, so we're speaking, when you have a very powerful orgasm coming, it's funny, you have an orgasm coming. Orgasms come too, right? When you get a real strong one, you hold your breath like, oh my God, it's like you're choking. You're limiting your air, and it enhances it in a way, right? So, hey, try it next time, but don't let nobody do that to you, but try it next time, right? And that little bit of lightheadedness, just a little bit, it amplifies the orgasm, right? So I understood that, but I wasn't sitting here engaging with something because he evidently did something wrong. So he told me, man, he said, yeah, man, she like to get choked out. That's the way he said it. But I knew what he meant. When she about to come, man, she loved that, man. We'd be laying there, for a little while, she'll get up and shower. She'll go back to her mama's house. And I get up and I go to work, man. It was working out fine. It was beautiful every day. So, yeah. Ain't that something? Mixed genre faves? 30 years never. What? Shoot. I don't know about that. No, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, like, oh, that ain't gonna work. Hope Rice. Look at Hope. This is gonna turn into the comedy show. I wish a dude would choke me while I'm getting off. I can see that happening now. Dude try to choke Hope, knock her glasses off of it. And she gonna be mad too because, see, I'm about to get a good one and you choking me. I'm about to get a good one. Now we got to fight. I can see that, Hope. That's straight funny. That's classic. I wish a dude would choke me while I'm getting off. That's a t-shirt. That's funny. Oh man, that's why I love having these shows, man. I just love it. I'm gonna be laughing about that all into tomorrow. Hope I'm gonna call you up like, yo, I wish a dude would choke me up, and then hang up. Just let me get off. Right? You don't want all that extra stuff. That has to be agreed upon if you do that stuff. So this is what he was saying, that evidently they agreed upon doing this. So, here's where the story gets fuzzy. So he says everything went, as normal and everything. Sometimes I'd leave her at my apartment and everything. So, she'd find her way out and everything. I trusted her, so I went on to work. So I come home. I had to do a few extra hours. So it was daytime when I came home. It was like about 8 o'clock in the morning. No, that is a t-shirt. Wait, hold on, y'all. I got it's a paper here because I know I just might forget. And I'll be like, what did Hope say exactly? And I'll jack up the saying. So let's just write it down now. Let me write it down now. Okay. I wish a dude would choke me while I'm getting off. And that'll be, and I have a long list, but these are shirts I'm going straight. Well, I ain't going to wear that one because that says, I wish a dude would, you know what I mean? It makes me look like I'm a homo or something like that. But we'll have a little cult classic shirts. I wish a dude would. Okay, my cursor went close to the end broadcast button. We don't need that right now. Okay, I wish a dude would choke me while I'm getting off. Choke me while I'm getting off. That's a fight right there. Getting off. And I know who said it, but next to it, I'm gonna put her name. I'm gonna be sleeping later on. I'm gonna just get up and bust out laughing and go back to sleep. Miss SCURV like, what you laughing at? Long story. Oh man, you gonna kick that guy's ass. He thought he was getting ass, but he came in to get his ass kicked. Anyway, so he says he's walking home and he's seeing all these helicopters from afar because the bus stop was like 6 blocks away from where he lived. So he had to walk about 6 blocks. So they were flying over his head, going all, how they do, like wherever the area is, they go all the way around. He's like, what the hell is going on? So cop cars are flying past him and everything like that. He turns into his apartment complex. And out here, I say out here in Florida, like I'm really in Florida right now. But out in Florida, a lot of the apartment complexes, the older ones, were not too high. They might be 2 stories high, maybe 3, but usually 2. You know, now they're building up stuff, in, especially in Orlando, that's higher than that. And they do have some that are or higher. So he turns and he walks in and he sees all of these cop cars by his apartment. And then he sees his apartment door open. He say, what the hell? Now, here's how the disconnect is with these guys. He's wondering, like, what could it be why the cops are in and out of my apartment? Right? He's really thinking this. He's telling me this. He's like, I couldn't fathom what it was. And when they approached me and, you know, asked me my name, and I said yes, and they said, well, we found a dead body behind your door, the back door of your apartment. And it's been known, people have admitted that, you know, you're seen with her. She comes over. She's been seen to come out of your place and whatever. So we know there's a connection. So we'd like to know from you, you know, and they're getting behind him too because they're going to cuff his ass. We'd like to know from you, like, you know, what the relationship is. They already knew, kind of, sort of, right? So he's like, wait a second. How is she laying back there dead? You don't know. Somebody killed her. He's like, but he's really believing this. Like I'm saying, look, ladies, you might meet a dude who may seem nice. I'm not even saying what they were doing. They were doing like a basic, like we're using each other to get off. We're having a sexual relationship, probably no expectations. And I don't knock anybody. I've been there, done that, but I'm not choking anybody. Right? I'm trying to really, you know, have this kind of thing going on all the time. You know, who hates an orgasm? Like, I've never heard anybody walking down the street, you know, like public transportation, sitting there pissed. Hey, man, how you doing? What's up with this morning? You don't hardly know this person. Man, I'm pissed to F off, man. Like, what happened? Somebody stole money from you? Nah, man, I had 3 good orgasms last night, man. I just got me down. I don't know anybody who hates coming. It's the circumstances in which you come. So he denies it. They lock him up. Comes to find out that he was doing the choke thing and he really choked her out. And it came out after a while. He had a resentment toward not just this woman, but any woman he dealt with when it came time for them to do a background investigation and check on his dealings and who he was as a person, and people are interested when they ask questions. It was like he was always very abusive, but he was a charmer when he first met them. And there's some guys that I'm telling you, I've seen this. How are you around other dudes when they having orgasms? Listen, don't you remember I used to throw orgy parties, right? So you get to know some of these people from afar and you see them doing what they do and little things come out. I know men that are very abusive to some very beautiful women that it's almost like the more turned on and aroused that they get in the sexual realm, they start calling again. Listen, I'm going to repeat some things. You know, it's not me. I don't live like that. I don't think like that. But I've seen this, like, yo, dude is twisted. You know, he's on top of his girl. They're doing their thing or whatever. He starts feeling good. You know, you fucking bitch. You nasty whore. I can't stand your fucking ass. You nasty slut. But, okay, sometimes there are women I understand that enjoy the derogatory talk play. I understand that because most of the time they're not that and they enjoy being the naughty little girl. But this is not that case. This dude is getting off and he's frothing at the mouth and you fucking bitch. You nasty whore. You're probably, and I've seen girls giving head and you probably sucked that other guy's dick like that 10 years ago, you little bitch. You getting served, bro. What you think about the other dude 10 years ago? He ain't no way around. What is wrong with you? It's crazy how some of these men are. And it comes up from the bottom. You don't see it. It's like when you stir up a glass of lemonade, you're like, oh yeah, I got the lemonade nice, just the right amount of lemon, just the right amount of sugar, but you didn't stir all the sugar up, and now you stir it up again later on, and it's too sweet. This is not sweet, right? But listen, I see Mick Sharma's face saying, oh my God, you know, you about lost an eye. Yo, Hope. Yo, this is going to be a comedy routine. When you make love to Hope, you make love to her. If she wants to increase the intensity to something on an adult level where it's, you know, we sometimes love it rough a little more, but be careful. Don't be coming with that stuff. She will kick your behind. Oh, almost lost an eye. That means that stuff is good there, Hope. Yeah, but that's what it is. A lot of guys, and a lot of these women don't check up on that. They don't check up on that. It's like I had a dog one time, right? Oh God, I had so many different dogs, younger growing up. Cool, everything, I was the one taking care of them, feeding them, walking them, everything like that. And one time I put the pan of food down, always left it where he had to leave some inside because I kept feeding him until he was full, no problems, never beat him, nothing like that. There was one point where I had water in the pan, fresh water, that I put down. Because, when you put water down for a dog, all lint and flies and all kind of stuff, just dirt ends up, I don't know where it comes from. And I feel sorry for them. So I went to reach next to the food to put the water down, as I always did from when he was growing up. I didn't have him from birth, but I had him from pretty young. The dog snapped at me. I'm like, oh, hell no. I caught the spirit of hope. I told my father, I'm like, we getting rid of this dog. I didn't kick his behind to make him lose an eye. You know what I mean? But it was like, wait a second. Where did he get this from? So ladies, when you see these little things, you need to check it out. But there are men out here who don't like women. Now, he's locked up. He's talking to me. And like I said in the conference call last night, one day he was, hey, SCURV, Officer SCURV. I walked up and said, what's up, man? He says, man, I want to show you something. And I'm like, okay. And like I explained to those who were in the chat room, the conference room last night, when you're doing that kind of work, you don't like, oh my God, that's disgusting. You nasty. Because that may make a problem with you later on, that you will win because they're locked in and they're not going anywhere and they're outnumbered that way. But on a psychological level, you want them to feel comfortable to reveal themselves. You see what I mean? So you're not going to act disgusted at anything they talk about, even though you will feel that way on the inside, which I did, and I'm going to explain. So he had these old negatives. I didn't even know they had them. Like even back then, this was back around about 2003, 2004. They had these negatives, like when you go to the photo place and they give you the negatives back. Now it's just phones and digital cameras, and I don't think they have that around as much anymore. So he gave me these negatives, and I kind of looked up and held it, between the light to see what it was and try to make out what it was. It looked very curvy, looked very feminine. I realized it was a nude body. I realized it was a nude body that was being looked over and they were taking photos. It was a nude body of the woman that he choked to death. And I'm wondering, why are you giving me these things? And some COs would have said it that way. I'm not scared to say anything. I express myself, and I'm the master of expressing myself, especially in the jail, right? And I'm no tough guy, but I'm a man just like you are. And if you think you're more than a man than me, then we're going to find out. I'd rather communicate. Let's communicate and go on with our lives. But if you want to play Billy Badass and tough guy, especially then, I was much younger, right? I'm 60 years old now, but I still got some left, right? So anyway, I'm trying to figure out, why are you giving me this? So he's like, yeah, man, my lawyer got those for me, man. I'm like, what kind of damn lawyer you got? And he said it before I could ask him, man, I got a good lawyer. He got those for me. Why do you want those? What are you, jacking off, looking at a dead woman that you killed? Now I really think you're a piece of shit. So he's telling me, so I'm looking at them. I'm looking at them going through the motion while he talks. And so he pulled out another one and he said, hey, look at this one. So I looked at it. I put him down. I was done with it. He said, man, you know what he said? Man, don't she got a nice ass? Yo, that let me know this dude was gone. You're having sex with her. Like, if she went out there and somebody killed her and it wasn't you and you're sad, you're still attached to her, you're not going to express that kind of thing to me because that's personal. But, you had a little relationship. It wasn't a marriage thing. It wasn't a commitment thing. But when you're having sex with somebody and it's on that level, even still, you kind of catch feelings. You do. You're drinking each other's crotch sauce. You're swapping spit. You're doing all of this stuff. And you're establishing something that, maybe you're dipping into it a little too deep. There should be a commitment. But that showed me the level of disconnect. Yes, sick ass demonic bastard. Yes. I don't know. D. Griffin, Gifty, I see you. How are you, my sister? I'm glad you're here. Listen, John. Oh, good. There's another bottle of water right here. I was going to get up and get another bottle of water. Let me sip this one again. We're going to go into full force, full charge here. Hold on. A whole bottle in one gulp. But I don't understand it. So he was still looking at her as an object of lust. But thinking back to who and what he is, there's a disconnect. I mean, come on. I ain't put my business out there. But there have been times in my younger years, 2/3 of my life ago, much younger, you meet somebody, nobody's around, you'll start kissing and doing little things, and you end up doing a little something, right? I was still gentle and soft and romantic, even though I knew that this wasn't probably going to go anywhere. I wanted to be where if you see me in a Walmart supermarket, you'll smile and say, hey, how are you? If you want to give me a number, your new number, you can, whatever. If not, listen, we'll leave it there. I really had a nice time. And I might even thank them. Thanks for the memory. And they understand, if they want to go and you keep walking, and you see them around the aisle the next time, 3 years later, they're with their husband. You're like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't try. But that's how you do with a woman. It's just, you have to look into every aspect. You can't give your body up to these demons, because that's what some of these men are. I'm not saying all of these men, but there is a slice of men out here, let's give it to you raw now, that dislike, hate, despise you for you being a woman, for your womanhood, for who you are as a woman. You can't change who you are. The way you walk, the way you talk, like that. You're not even trying to have the biggest cleavage out there or show the biggest booty crack or whatever have you. Just you being feminine. They despise your femininity. Yet, like a moth to a flame, they're attracted to it. And the more they're attracted to it is the more they resent you, because you have some kind of power over them. Shoot. In my life, that's a power I didn't mind submitting to. I loved it. I love women. What in the hell is wrong with me? If I don't like you, then what do I like then? But it raises a question, because a lot of these men who are like that, who despise you for you being a woman, just that fact alone. You could be tall and skinny. You could be short and chubby. You could be medium size, wide. You can be built like a linebacker. You could be skinny. You could be a midget, whatever. You are a woman and you have the womanly energy. And the more you are into who you are and enjoy being that woman who you are, is the more they want to get into your life and destroy it. How dare you be comfortable with who you are? How dare you turn me on? How dare you get me aroused? And even when you're not even trying to get them aroused, here are the sequence that I've seen in jail time and time again. It's in their mind. They're focusing on your body parts, getting turned on and getting mad at the same time. This is why there's a lot of prostitutes out there who they must kill. They will drive around and around and around the whole stroll. That's what they call it. I'm not calling our sisters hoes, but you know that's what they call it. And they're not looking to buy or purchase some glorified friction from one of these young ladies. But they will try to sometimes, when they can't take it no more or fixate on one of these women, get one of them in their car. Now, I know a lot of prostitutes in my life. I've never had to pay for the services of one. I don't get down like that, but I know everybody. I talk to everybody. I know some homos. I know some homo hookers. I know some midget dominatrixes. You name it, I probably talk to it. You know, like I told you, for a good long time, I was driving around a bunch of strippers up and down the East Coast when I used to drive the dollar van, and they would pull me off the route and pay me good. And sometimes I'm out there with them for a week or two in different states up and down the East Coast. And I got to see them in action because some of them were just dancers, dancing in different clubs, because you can't dance in the same club all the time. You got to circulate. They'll get tired of seeing you, the clientele. So some of them just gave head. Some of them went all the way and had sex, right? I'm right there waiting for them, seeing them, talking to them after. And when we get the hotel room and get up in there, and they pull down the real them that comes out. And you get to know them as a person and their hopes and their dreams and their aspirations. Wonderful conversations, and gave me tremendous insight even into those who may be those streetwalkers for different reasons. And they weren't using drugs. There was one that came around us that was addicted, and I couldn't do business with her no more. You know, and too risky. You know what I mean? You know, she might do something to somebody. And a lot of these guys that when I was with these girls, like I'm their driver, but I'm hanging with them. I'm just going to sit in the van while you go inside and do, man, it's cold out here. I ain't going to run no heat. Let me just come inside for a little while. And it was usually safe with like bachelor parties and stuff like that, club things and whatever. But if you had a drug addicted woman around you, she might be looking to rip somebody off. And then all of a sudden he thinks I'm a pimp, because a lot of the guys are like, yo, man, we know you the pimp undercover, man. You chilling like that, man. You ain't trying to get with these girls. Listen, I see their titties and booties every night when we were going up and down the road, sleeping. Some of them were lesbians doing each other. I'm looking at them like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. And they couldn't believe that I was chill. I'm like, if you know what the lifestyle I came out of, right? So it gave me tremendous insight without being titillated by the titillated by the titties. So it gave me a chance to dig deeper into the human psyche and understand how people are. And there were a lot of men. I remember I was in, Maryland one night, and I forgot the name of this bar. It wasn't just a bar. It was a pretty sizable establishment. They had the poles and everything. And he was sitting there next to me saying, man, you got a cool gig, man. I see you came in with the ladies and whatnot. I said, yeah, they cool with me. They trust me, and I'm their driver. It's like, shitting me, man, you more than a driver, because I see them coming over here bringing you money. Now, sometimes, like say, for example, we had 4 dancers and they were dancing. You know, when they're dancing, dudes are throwing money at them. They got to stop and pick it up. And that's kind of like unsexy. So we agreed that, okay, my right front pocket was for this one. My left front pocket was for that one. And the dudes that were in there only saw it one way. But we were really, really cool with each other. And there was a trust. It wasn't like I was taking their money, but they only equated it with, oh, they dancing and giving you money? Huh? So there was a resentment that way toward me, because in their mind, I was in control of any sexual passion and desires for these women. They're paying for it, and these women are bringing me money. So you couldn't tell them, like, even if they were convinced that I wasn't a pimp, it was like, I'm the one in control over everything and over myself. And a lot of these guys, the predatory guys, like the guy that was sitting next to me in Maryland, said, man, these hoes ain't no fucking good, man. None of these hoes. I said, wait a second. You don't understand the circumstances where they are at this point in their life. Man, don't tell me that, man. They got their asses out, man. They don't want to work. They don't want to do this. I said, listen, you can't always say that about everybody. I said, there's one up there right now. I can't tell you which one, but she has a daughter. She's paying to go to school, and the daughter has an illness that costs a lot of money, and they don't have the coverage. Man, that's that bullshit she told you, son. It's like, no matter what I said, I'm like, I'm not trying to convince this fool no more. And he went up there and he was flashing money on him. And the very one that he was talking about really bad was the very one that had that situation going on. He wanted some head from her. So he went back in the VIP. The VIP is a little room or some room that's off to the side that you can actually go back there and have sex. There's not a bed back there, but it's just like, it's kind of dark and, those things going over there. Right. So, oh, wow. I'm missing a lot of this because I'm running my mouth. I'm sorry. Hope I didn't mean to ignore, let me just read or put out what she said. Okay. She said, some men are completely over the top. I have a good lady friend. She was beautiful. However, didn't understand her worth. She looked for love. She eventually got with a mental nutcase. Continued. The guy she got with was very controlling. He moved her away from her family and friends. Approximately 6 months later, she was seriously ill in the hospital out of state. Once family was at her side. They are trying to figure out what was occurring with her. She ended up in the hospital because her nutcase boyfriend was a mortician's assistant. He was sleeping with the deceased, the bodies. What? They hold delete toxins. See about, whoa. He was into necrophilia. After so many rounds of antibiotics, she did survive. But again, the love she followed was sleeping with the dead, and his demonic actions almost made her lose her life. Yo. See? Wow. What? Yo, that's all I can say. Hope. Oh my God. If I'm in America and we happen to see him, let me know. I'll give him an extra addendum ass kicking for that one. Oh man. This is what I'm saying. Please make sure you know who you're dealing with, because she probably thought, oh, he has a good job. He's a mortician's assistant. Not knowing he probably got the job because that's what he wanted to do. Like some folks that work in daycares that are pedophiles that don't have a record, that want to get close to the kids. Look, when I was in bodybuilding and young teenager, I was like, how are these guys that are judges these old white men? They don't look like they ever did anything in their life, and half of them were gay. So they found themselves, getting certified to become a bodybuilding judge so they can get close to the guys, and the guys can ask them, like, what do you think I need to do to get better? And yeah, come on over my house later on. I'll tell you what you need to do to get better. Hell, I'll help you win the next trophy if you give in to what I want you to do. That's why I had to cuss a few of them out in these competitions that I didn't win because of that. It's all political, and that's one of the reasons why I got out of it. But watch these people. So anybody who has a job like that, I'm watching them because they're left alone with the bodies. And what was he doing with them? I don't want to know, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, mixed genre faves, a dead body. I'm a little squeamish still when, you know what I mean? When I'm around, I know it can't harm me, but you're going to get turned on. Your dick is actually going to get hard. They're gone. A dead body. How are you sucking dead titties, man? I'm not making fun of it, but I'm just saying, like, you eating coochie too? Dead coochie? Are you asking her, the woman, does she feel it? Listen, dead woman, are you feeling this thing? This is crazy. Like I said, you just don't know what's in people's heads. You just don't know. I don't want no part of that, man. Like this why, like, Mrs. Scurv is a friendly person, and she ain't dumb either. But after all I've seen and us getting into being online, and, she's going to be getting online more, I'm going to run all our social media because there's kooks out here, and there are kooks who, no matter where you are, once they fixate on you, they'll hop on a plane and fly out to you also. Just know that. Sleeping with a dead body, then putting that shit in my mouth and in my yoni. That's what I'm talking about. Hope. Find a woman who's into that. As sick as people are, there are other people who are just as sick. And Brother Shiz TV says, but it's true. Women are so desperate for love, they ignore the vetting stage and quick to be with a guy that gives them a label. Wow. Oh, I know you'll laugh at that crazy stuff I just said. Or what Hope just said. I'm still laughing at what Hope said. I'm still laughing about what Hope said. The t-shirt statement that she made, I'm still cracking up at that. Wait, I got this paper here. I got so much stuff written on here. I mean, I can't even find it. I'll find it. But I wish a dude would choke me while I'm getting off. All-time classic. That's a meme right there. I wish a dude. Oh, you don't know how that struck me, Hope. Oh God, because I know what? You enjoying yourself, he gonna start choking you. See, you're not gonna be shocked. Hope is gonna ball up her fist and whip some behind. For real. In the middle of orgasm. Yes, she would. Yeah, but we need to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't know. There's dudes that are into shit and they'll be on top of you and have an orgasm and he's still on top of you and start pushing out. You're like, what is that stinking? Yeah. Yeah, the neighbors, like, what's going on there? Exactly. I might have heard a couple of squeals of passion. Are they outright fighting? You know what I mean? No, but see, what happened is that, like, if you know Sister Hope, she's very sincere in her expressions. And her expressions, you know, she means what she says by the expressions on her face. So I superimpose that with that scenario that she said about, I wish a dude would choke me out. And that's what made me laugh so hard, because I can see the expression on her face. You know what I mean? But these guys, they seriously, a lot of them are like, I'm not going to say straight out closet homosexuals, where they actually want a dick in their mouth or they want to be with some man. But the attraction of a woman, right? And it doesn't mean you have to be a certain type or whatever have you. You know, you could be bald, you could be diesel, you know what I mean? With a red handkerchief out your back and some like a diesel dyke or whatever, and you still a woman. So you still got something to be, you know, may not be that extreme, but it's like they want to have that thing that the woman has that is for a woman to have, the womanly energy. It's almost like they want it for themselves. It's almost like they're in competition. They get very insecure when they realize how beautiful you are. And it doesn't mean beauty on the outside, just being a woman, the womanly beauty, the warmth, the sincerity, the conversation, just the woman energy. They get mad at that. And so they will do all kinds of things, just like the abusive man, like we said early on when we read down a list of how they want to isolate you, like we said here in this chat room, how they want to isolate you, control you, keep you away from your family, keep you away from your friends, watch your movements, control your movements. You sleep, they trying to go through your cell phone. They paranoid, thinking you trying to sleep with everybody, even though they know that you're not. They may see another man look at you in an appreciative way, not even a disrespectful way, just and catch a glance. And he gets mad at you. You know what I mean? He'll get mad at you for that. You ain't got nothing to do with that. Want to keep you inside, and then the psychological thing of wanting to tear you down, tear down your esteem, make you feel like something that you're not, make you feel less beautiful. And they will go after what the world may say is beautiful, or they'll go after any woman. And once they capture you, they suck you down in the wrong way. Not the good way, y'all, the wrong way. The wrong way. And after that relationship is over, hopefully it will be over sooner than later, and you get back into your normal routine around friends, if they accept you back, and around your family, who will tell you had a mess once you get back into circulation. And here you are. And one way to tell is that if you were into something like a hobby, or you pursued something, you pursued modeling, you pursued self-defense classes, you pursued doing art. It doesn't have to always be modeling, right? I just said that to throw it in there. But when you get with this individual, you start to fall off on that, you know, and there's a level of unhappiness that you have in your eyes. Even though you fake the smile, your eyes don't lie. A lot of men and women don't understand. You can smile, but your eyes don't lie. Okay, in this picture, you see the young lady there, her eyes are happy. Dude didn't get to her yet. He's still love bombing her. But the eyes don't lie. And you'll notice that friends, if they have the courage to say it, and family members, but there's always that bold one, right? While you're dealing with this predatory gentleman who's now hating on you and trying to destroy your life, there's always that barbecue you go to, a family outing that you don't really want to go to because you know that you're not up to par. You don't realize others can see it yet. Maybe some have told you, but you're bringing this person who you know by this point is sucking the life out of your life force. And people are there and they're looking at you, and you know, you don't look the same. You don't look as happy. Maybe you're not eating like you used to and you lost weight, or you're eating things that you're not used to and just sitting around eating depressed and you gain weight. You know, you can lose weight and gain weight. It could be from the same original circumstances. We're all different, right? Like me, the more happy I am, like, okay, I can't say that, right? But this is back in the day, because right now with a wife like Miss SCURV cooking up all this stuff, she made some homemade ice cream with, you know how she did in that other video, but she added on to it. It tastes better than ice cream. The other day she made some chocolate vegan cake. I think there's a slice of, how am I going to live up in here with this stuff that's good for you, with good ingredients, right? I got all these calories going on. But I remember, like, and I was never really unhappy, but I remember a couple of times in little relationships I was in, I got my feelings hurt and I was bodybuilding. It was easy to get ripped up then because I was eating less food. I had to try to eat when I was on a lean diet, right? So different things affect us. But you go to that barbecue and you always got that loudmouth uncle who don't give a damn. He don't give a damn when he's at the cookout. He positions himself where he can see everybody as they walk in, and wherever they have to sit, he can see them. And that uncle, that old uncle who used to be the black sheep of the family, but a lot of the people in the family got old and had ailments and sicknesses, so they got to depend on him, so they got to take his mouth, even though they don't love him all the time, and even not invite him all the time. But he finds out, oh, damn, Uncle Louie, man, he outside parking his car. Who told him about this barbecue? Damn. And here he come. I know half of y'all are hating me. Let me get a plate and get some of this food. You was always good at making food, fat as you are. I guess that's why you so fat. So he'll sit down and you come in and he loves you. But he'll say, damn, girl, you losing all this weight. You mean that motherfucker, he ain't treating you right. He don't love you. He just trying to get the cooter and get his hands in the bank account. You better leave that fool alone. See, I'm going to tell you. Everybody here in the family talking about how bad you look, because that nigga ain't no good for you. And I know he coming in from outside. I tell him, listen, I might be old, but he ain't gonna mess with me. I used to be a Golden Glove boxer. I will F him up. Now, maybe he won't fight him or anything, but that's in his mind. You know what I mean? Even me, I feel sometimes like, yes, I'm King Kong. I'm the strongest out here. I'll whip anybody. That may not be the case anymore at 60 years old and sitting behind a computer so many hours out of the day. But that's what happens when you get older. But you always have that older uncle who's going to tell you the truth about what's going on in your life. And people can see it. And this man will continue until you're left lifeless and then scorn you for not having it anymore. When I met you, you were beautiful. When I met you, you were doing so much. Now look at you. And you expect me to stay with you? But he's the one that took it from you. You see what I mean? Take it from you and scorn you for not having that life force anymore. That's sick. That's sick. Gifty said, the uncle. I've been to enough cookouts where that uncle was there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, I've heard some uncle stories. Been to the cookouts and you're sitting there, and I was sitting near him too because I don't want to miss it because I already know. Hey, boy. You know you're looking like more of a man. I was scared for you for a while. I know you're sucking a couple dicks back in the day, but you look like you straight. You straight now? You straight now, boy? I'm glad for you, man, because I ain't coming to your funeral if you get HIV. I'm like, God, darn it. And people are cringing. But you know what? You need that element in a family. Those are the ones who live the longest because they're not going to walk around emotionally constipated. And they're going to be real about things. You see? Oh. See, there's a certain Brother Shiz TV. This is what he said. Let me put it up on the screen so everybody can see it even after the show is. I don't want to sound oblivious, but what makes people stay in situations like that? That's mental jail for real. And let me just take a look at Oyala's comment. And some of them are only talking to you so they can have or seek sexual access for you. Nothing serious. Too many of them not at all. But yeah. And we understand. We know here that that's the chant. Not all, but some. We know that. So I would never say that you're saying all, Sister Oyala. But yeah, with this comment here, see, there are a lot of women who have such a loving heart that man despises. And that man thinks that this woman with such a loving heart is going to go be loving with other people. So I got to knock this out of you. And see, there's another element in it too, of vulnerability that's quite false from these men. And these women latch on and want to save these men. I know he's treating me bad now, but he needs me. He needs me. He doesn't have anybody else. They'll put in a built-in pseudo pity party type of thing going on that he can always tug on when it seems as though she's getting the strength to leave him. You see what I mean? Yeah, the toothless uncle telling it straight. Okay. Yes, I will stay up for you. Even though, and you know what? I slept late. Danita, we're going to do it tonight. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, Danita. We're going to do it tonight. How you want to do it? You want to do it live? You want to do it recorded? You want to do it on the conference call? Shoot, the conference call is the best thing. You know what I mean? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's show Sister Danita some love in the chat room. We put that video up and everybody loved it, all the comments and everything. This is Danita. So I will stay up for you. That'll be 1 o'clock for me. Yeah, that'll be 1 o'clock and 12:30. So right now it's right now. Am I stupid now? Yeah. Right now it's, what time is it? It's 11:43. So wait a second. I said 11:30. Okay, yeah, but you want to do it tonight? Yeah, we can do it tonight. So 8:30 on the East Coast. 8:30 on the East Coast is 12:30. Okay. We can do that. Because I was going to sign off on this anyway a little bit, maybe a couple more minutes and talk, recuperate, we come back with it. Whichever way we do it. Oh, man. Yeah, Danita's in the chat. We can do this. Wow. Oh, God, yeah, I can't wait. I think the safest way with no interruption is to do it in the conference, on the conference line, because it's not like it's live and the variables of power over here going off and interference, because as soon as we get going, all kind of interference is going to come. You're going to get knocked off. I'm going to get knocked off. I think if we do it on the conference call, and I don't know if you can copy the number, Danita, but I'm going to flash the number across the screen so you can see it, right? And we'll get back on with the topic now. But here's the number, 321-521-2515. And if you don't copy it down and you're not in a position to do so, I will call you and I will give you that number. Once 2 people are on that line, then it's going to start recording. And this is to be heard eventually. So I don't mind, if you don't mind, any of our family here calling in and muting and just letting you roll, and they'll be there if you want them to come in and add on something to it. You see what I mean? So I think that's the best way, because this conference line is situated in the States. And if for some reason I happen to get knocked off, because I'm gonna call in, or I'm gonna come in with the link. I'm not gonna call into the phone, but I'll be there. And if it knocks me off for some reason, I can always go on the phone. So it's me that's the one that is more susceptible to get knocked off, but it will not interfere with you. If you're on it and I get knocked off, it's not gonna mess with you. Now, we know if something happens on that line that they're really coming after us, right? But that's the number, and I'll flash again for all others who want to come on, because we'll start that in another 45 minutes, like you said. 8:30 your time is actually 12:30 my time, and for me over here it's around 11:45. So I'll put this banner back up. I'm glad you're here. You probably got my messages. We were actually on the conference line last night when you called, but I had my earpiece in the phone, which made it where I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it that the phone rung. And I don't mind anytime you call me. When you got to call me, just call me. I can sleep and then get up, whatever. And I definitely want everybody there, but we're going to give you the honor, of giving you the floor. Let me see what she said. I need your input on the show. Okay, cool. So we'll all come. I'll be there. Bring everybody there, and we'll respect you by being quiet and everything. And when you want the input, we're going to be there. But y'all don't want to miss this, y'all. You do not want to miss this. we can hold up to 100 people on that line, which means 98, because it's going to be me and Danina there. And everybody else can come on in, just mute yourself. And when she wants to, and then as it goes on, everybody can open up. We can just have an all-out conversation, but let it roll. We're going to let it roll tonight. I might be a little sleepy tomorrow, but Danina, I love you, and this is worth it. And this is what I need. This is what I need. Matter of fact, I'm going to actually connect on the computer and go in with my phone, mute myself, but be there to talk and take a walk. So I'm going to take a nice little walk, put my mosquito repellent on, lock my SCURV in, and take a little walk. Yes, I will. We're going to have some fun tonight. This messed my head up in a good way. Now I don't even want to talk about the toothless uncle no more. I want to get ready for the show with Sister Danina. And then that will be something that's not broadcast live as it happens, but after the recording is done, we will put it up, right? So folks tomorrow will be like, oh man, I missed this, but yeah. Oh man, thank you so much. Okay, good. You got the number down. And let me just flash that again, just in case, so you can compare it. Make sure you got it right. 321-521-2515. There are no long distance charges incurred on that number. And plus that's 321. So that's Central Florida anyway. So, that's what it is. And for anybody else now who I know Kersey knows how to come in on the actual link, right? There's a link that you can go to that you don't need a phone. You can be in Czechoslovakia and click the link and it will bring you in on your tablet, on your computer, or on your phone. What I will say, to get to that particular link easily, you're going to have to go to LANCESCURV.com, my actual website, right? Scroll down a little bit until you see that number. Just click on that number. It will take you to a page where you can either hit the number to call in or hit the number to join in that way. Another way is if you have the app, and this is where you have to have the app. It will have a prompt there that says conference call toward the top. You click that, it will bring you to that page where you have an option to hit the button to call in or hit the button to join as if you're going to a website. And you're not getting charged to go to a website. So you'll be right in there on your phone, tablet, or computer talking the same way. All I ask is that when you get there, just mute yourself. And when Danina's ready, okay, she'll say, hey, I'm ready to talk. I want your feedback. Now, I'm going to be quiet too, but I'm going to be the one there talking the most for a time. It's going to be great. And let me see what she says here. This show is going to be epic. This is the real one. Oh, damn. I love you. Listen, y'all. This took the starch out of me in a good way. I'll be talking about this predatory gentleman and I'll be thinking about Danina. You know what I mean? So I'm going to wrap this down in a few minutes. I hope y'all don't mind, because it's going to take this has already taken my focus in a good way. This is what I want, because I was thinking, I said, I hope Danina doesn't take too long to call me back. I've been picking up on calls and all kind of weirdos. I get weirdos calling me all the time. This white man called me today and I was asleep too, because I went to bed. Hello? This is LANCESCURV? I said, yeah, who am I speaking to? Can I ask you a question? I said, about what? But I said, who am I speaking to? Oh, this is Joe. All these perverts, they always call themselves Joe, right? I said, so what's up? Because the way he was, I'm annoyed. I don't care when people wake me up if it's one of us, one of my people. But you going to be rude and be white too? Dude, joking. I want to know how big your cock is. I'm going to get the fuck out of it. Click. You know what I mean? You woke me up for that? These white men are twisted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rest in peace to Tina Turner. I spoke about that as soon as the show came on. Yeah, I'm going to put that number up again. Oh man, this is going to be, and all y'all are catching this live on this show to know that she's going to be on there. So let me know if anybody does not know how to get to the show. Like, okay, there's a number, but if you're in another country, you can still chime in for free easily at the click of a button. I don't want any excuses to miss this show. So listen, do you know, like I said before, if you downloaded the LANCESCURV app, I'm going to tell you exactly where the position is, because I got my phone. And yes, even though it's my app, I have my own app downloaded too, because it helps me get to certain places real quick. Okay, let me see here. This old phone is so slow. Why did I even pick it up? Okay, I'm hitting the app now. I just want to be able to tell you exactly for those who have the app. And really, you should have, there's no excuse to not have the app. But if you go to the app, I have all these prompts on there, and it's in the upper right-hand corner, and it says conference line. And it's a red little circle with a white little phone shape in there. You click that. Now let me click it so I can just tell you what I see. I mean, I put this together. I don't forgot already, right? But okay, here it goes. It's slow. It's ailing, but it's coming. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I got so many things pulling on my internet right now. It says join Lance's meeting room. First thing it says, join in the browser. You hit that if you want to go in without calling. And the prompt below that, it says dial into this meeting. And it actually tells you the number, and you could hit it to continue and it will call for you. But the one, it's not on top, it's below where it says join Lance's meeting room. And there's two buttons that say continue. The first one is to join in. So anywhere in the world, if you want to come into the show, you can do it that way. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Yes. Gifty, she says she's so excited. I want all of y'all to be there. This is going to be very powerful. You know, and that's why, Danita, I wanted you to use your voice when we had that conversation. I mean, I know that my brothers and sisters here trust me if I said that I talked to Danita, but it's nothing like hearing your voice after not hearing you for such a long time. And it just, the responses spoke for itself. I know you had to see those responses and the love that came through. So yeah, we're going to do that. Listen, y'all, we'll be back in, well, whenever Danita calls, it's going to be what she say. For me, it'll be like about 12:30. I think she said 8:30 to whatever time. And you know what? If we get there early, fine. We can talk. I'll start it when I do the upload, right? I'll cut it and then put that and make it start when she comes in. So that way we don't start and you don't have a clue. So really and truly, Sister Danita, we'll start from now. You come in when you're ready, okay? But when I put this up on YouTube and or Patreon or both, I'll cut it to the point where you come in, so we're starting to hear you first. And I'll probably put the other part toward the end. You know what I mean? Now, this is how it works. The conference line goes on for 5 hours. After that, it gives you a warning a minute before that it's going to cut. No fret. If it's still rocking, all we do is hang up, wait a second, or let it cut us off, and call right back, and we have another 5 hours. After that, it creates a MP3 of the whole thing. Just make sure that you have good reception so we can hear you, whoever comes in. But like I said, mute your phone when you come in if you're not expected to speak immediately. That way we have a better broadcast where when we upload it, we don't have to fight with the whole thing. And mixed genre faves, please, I want you to come in when it's time to talk. I don't care if the roosters are there. I don't care. You know, you are one who you have to be there and you have to participate. And boy, I'm so happy. I'm happy. I can just run outside naked because I am. Wow, this is going to be sweet. Let me just see. Okay, let me see. Y'all come to the conference lines. We can discuss it. And I appreciate you. Okay, I want you to know the truth about these punk motherfuckers. Exactly. Listen, let it flow. We love you. We understand you. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. Wow. Wow. I'm at a loss for words, y'all. I'm at a loss for words. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap this down. I'm not going to say I'm going to continue this exactly tomorrow, but I will, whatever I'm talking about, finish up or maybe do a separate recorded video to hit some other points that I missed. Because there are other little stories that I missed. What I'm going to start doing too is like little 10-minute recordings where you can, like, I'll sit down and I'm talking into the camera. You can see me. Not that you know what I look like, but like a bunch of snippets like that. Because the weather now, to go up on the rooftop, which I'm going to do maybe like a rooftop or two a week, but to go up there, sometimes you get ready to go up there and all of a sudden you see these clouds coming. Oh man, it's raining now. Mosquitoes are biting me. So in a controlled environment is better. So listen, okay, let me see here. That's why I'm doing it, because they remembered me. You know, this shit is exactly. Yep. Look, how can we forget you? You saw the daggone chat room. Are you on the conference line? You know, what's up, Derek? We can't forget you. You've left an impression forevermore. you know, and I can't say no more than that. I'm just, you know, like Sister Oyala, she said, I want to go now. Well, hey, listen, let's start it up now. When Danita is ready to come in and available to come in, she will come in. And when she comes in, let's just give her the honor of a muted line. And let's say our highs and everything first, then we're just, okay, Danita, come on, let's get down. And you control the floor, Danita. When you're ready for me to talk, which I'll be there with you talking, but I'm gonna let you flow. And there should be no interference on this particular thing, this conference line, and it's gonna be good. And like I said, it's a sneak attack because it's not like we put banners out and on this day and on this night and on this time and the enemies come. Okay, they're going to do it. We're going to mess it up for them. We're going to jack it up for them. We're going to make funny noises and we're going to cut people off, make them sound funny. No, they ain't going to do that today. No way. And I'm glad. I'm so happy. This is why I cover the bases with so many things and want to have alternatives. You know what I mean? You're right, Mick Genre. Time is flying. Listen. I'm done with this topic right now. I just want to, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it won't go over 5 because I have to charge my phone. Okay, no, I understand. Whatever time, we're always here. You want to come back and do it another day too and add on? No problem. So, Danita, if you can charge your phone a little more now, let's do it. But okay, on the real, Oyala, Gifty, Reese, Master Glam, Mick Genre Faves, Derek, everybody, let's go there now and talk and vibe and wait for our sister to come on in. That's the number. I'm not going to be there until I finish playing the music because I know one time I went in to the chat room, to the conference line while the music was playing and nobody could talk on the conference line because the music was piping there. So I'm definitely going to be there. Whoever's first, you're not going to hear nobody. Whoever else comes in says, oh, hello, who are you? Oh, Master Glam, hey, whatever. I got a text Tracy J and let her know because I know she's busy, but I know she doesn't want to miss this. I know she don't want to miss this. Whoa. So anyway, I'm gonna play a little song right now. I don't even want to play too much music. I want to get on over there for real. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna play this one song, y'all. I'm gonna play this one song, and we're gonna, you know, the most voted on song that everybody likes. And I'm getting the heck on up out of here and I'm coming to this conference line. So out of the 38 people watching who may not be in the chat, you can feel free to come on over there. And before I forget, let me drop the link. This will make it sweeter that as Danita's talking, hey, listen, you know, I pay for this thing every month. And like I said, it's your donations that are helping to keep it going. So I can't say I pay for this and I pay for that. It's a lot of things that have to, oh God, I hit the wrong thing. I hate that when something pops up and you hit the wrong thing. Let me drop this link in, right? Check this out, that as we are in the conference and we might be quiet because we're listening to Sister Danita, that we can still chat with each other because we're going to be on the LANCESCURV chat room. And it has private rooms in there. And it's the perfect place. Just like when we get Irritated Genie in on there. I'm dropping this link, y'all. Go there. So that as we're quiet, we can still be talking and vibing with her and vibing with each other. And if you want to share private information, you can go to a private room that you make. It's real cool. All right. Okay. There it is. Oh, there it is. All right. LANCESCURV.com. Live chat with the dash in the middle. Just hit that link or snatch that link. All right. I'll make a banner for that for another show. And I want to start doing that. So when the shows are over and the YouTube chat room is done, we can continue talking or chatting there. But utilize this link while we do this conference call. If you can, because sometimes it's just a phone we have. Let's just work it out that way. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. And after this show is cut off and done, I'm going straight over to the chat. The conference line right here. And I'm just playing one song, y'all. I got to get out of here. We got to talk to Danita. Okay, where's the song here? Okay, here it is, y'all. Much love to you all. Sorry to cut it short, but this is when Danita speaks, the world listens. We can always come back to these predatory gentlemen another time. Anyway, please make it over there. I'm going to leave this number up. And we're going to learn some stuff today. It's not just about the fun. We're glad to see you back, Danita, but we know that you have some stuff to share with us, and we're really ready to receive it. We're on that higher vibration. Like I said, I'm not on your level, but I'm getting better. And just like you acknowledged me in that rooftop video, that made my day. But anyway, I will see you all